Let's talk about how to buy some dirt cheap tax lien land. So, this is a popular video that's been requested several times, and people are asking, how do you buy land through tax lien sales? So, remember, always keep in mind the difference between tax liens and tax deeds, right? Remember, with a tax deed, you're actually buying the property, the opening bid is the back taxes owed. With a tax lien, you're not actually buying the property. So, in this video, we're going to chat about how to actually buy the property that has a tax lien on it at a dirt cheap price. So, for anyone just tuning in, thanks for joining. We're going to be doing a series of live videos, tax lien and deed investing for anybody that wants to get started. If you have a question, type it in the comments here. I'll be happy to answer those as well, or come back later in a future video and answer them. So, how do we buy dirt cheap tax lien land? So there's a few ways to go about this. So first, you could buy 100 tax liens on land that come up at the sale or across multiple counties. And from there, remember, 95% of tax liens are going to redeem. So what that means is on average, you will end up with about 5 pieces of land. And generally, it's going to be for pennies on the dollar, right? So the tax lien is always a small percentage of the total value of the property taxes. So say the land is worth $50,000, maybe the taxes on that thing are just a couple $100 per year, and then you would foreclose on that tax lien. Now, that's not quite attainable probably for the average person just starting out. So one of the ways that I would suggest here, as far as like buying land dirt cheap through tax liens, is to do the following. All right. So decide where you want to invest. All right. So if you're in a tax lien state, what's going to happen is there's going to be the list of delinquent taxes for this year and the list of delinquent taxes going back several years. All right. So all of these people have an indication of a pain point. And it says there's probably something wrong. Perhaps, maybe some of them have lost their job, going through divorce. Now, the thing is most of these people probably will redeem because they don't want to lose their property at the tax lien sale, right? However, it also means that a large percentage of them could be very motivated to sell. So what I want you to do to get some of this cheap land, go to the county tax assessor office, get the list of the tax liens, and then from there, you want to go and approach the homeowner in a nice way. And there's a couple ways to go and do that. You can get the name of the homeowner. You can use a website like reiskip.com, and you can just skip trace the homeowner's number and like straight up just send them a text message from your cell phone saying, hey, I'm an investor in the area, interested in some land. Would you be open to a cash offer on your property? So this is a nice way to go and open a dialogue. Now, the other thing with land as well is the fact that a lot of the time the homeowner or the owner of the land will be at a different address. So you'll have to do a little bit of digging. And this is good because remember, the easier information is to get, the more competitive it's going to be. So for example, like there's a lot of great tools like PropStream and Zillow and this and that. But remember, if you can go and find property information within just like the snap of a finger, that means, everybody and their dog and their parrot can also go and do that as well. So one of the things that we like to do is get the hard information. I love it when counties have difficult information to get or lots of gatekeepers, because what that means is most of the average rookie investors are going to struggle to get that information. Therefore, when you get the information, you can have that much better odds of scooping up properties. So that's what I would do. Go to the county, get the list of tax liens, and then from there, go and look at, basically go on Google Earth and start looking at the plot maps of where these are, start looking at some of the values, and from there, reach out to the homeowner, letting them know, or the landowner, letting them know you are an investor. So you can do text message, skip trace, you can phone call them, things like that. Another way that works really well is going old school and just straight up sending them a letter in the mail. And this works really well. And we actually would do this back in the day when we would buy tax deeds is we would buy the property or the piece of land and then just go and like send the neighbor next door a letter seeing if he wanted to actually, buy the property because it's attached to them. And that was actually a strategy we would do sometimes with pieces of lots or land in town. Is the neighbors generally don't know the property's going to the tax sale. So what we would do, we'd go strike up a conversation with the neighbor and see if they'd be interested. And in fact, we've bought lots and lands where the neighbor had been like cutting the grass anyway. So it was attached to his house. Like, hey, would you want this thing for like $2,000? You go buy it at the tax deed sale, go ahead, flip it for a couple $1,000 and away you go. So this is a great way to get into business, buy land at a big discount. And I like land because it's not nearly as competitive and there's not going to be any, rotting roofs or foundations or squatters. Now, that being said, it's figure out what strategy works for you, but land is a good strategy to go after. And we do get a lot of questions for that. So, depending on what day of the week it is, you're watching this video now. If you want some help with this stuff, I give away basically a free mini course on tax liens and deeds. There's a link in the description called the ABCs. I used to sell this thing. I give it away now. Click the link. You can check it out. Or if you want us to build you like a custom 4-step plan, you can book a one-on-one call and we'll go ahead and build you a custom plan to go ahead and get this stuff done and have an advantage in the market. It's what we do. We're investors. And then also, obviously, we have a channel that teaches people how to do this stuff as well. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell, ask a question in the comments. We would love to be able to answer those in a future video or spotlight that coming up. So it's a great time to be a tax lien and deed investor as far as the state of the economy goes, because there's this really interesting scenario that's happening right now where inventory in real estate is still short, meaning it's not what it was pre-COVID. So also what this means is people are getting squeezed by the economy, right? You see prices on everything are through the roof. So people are selling and they're more motivated. So the way I see it is there's like this perfect storm right now for real estate investors, but the hardest thing is struggling to find deals, right? So that's what we're all about. That's what we do here. So that's what this channel has going on. So check out some of our videos. We got a lot of videos obviously on tax lien and deed investing, but to summarize, here's your homework. Find out where you live. Obviously, you know where you live. Find the county office, get that list of tax liens, and then start researching plots of land that are on the tax lien list. Now, if you live in a tax deed state, they're obviously not going to offer a tax lien. So what you can do is get the list of delinquent properties that are coming up, and then it's the same thing, right? The only difference is that in a tax deed state, basically they'll let the property go several years of delinquency before they actually auction it off. And those can actually be really motivated as well, because say they've gone 4 or 5 years and they haven't paid their taxes, that every year that goes by just means they're more and more motivated to sell perhaps. Whereas in a tax lien state, lots of people might not pay their taxes for a year. So, no big deal. So on that note, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. There's like a bell or something. Click that button and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.